My name is Tim Clark from Bidgely, and I head up the customer success team at Bidgely. And with us here today is Adam Grant from NV Energy. Adam, can you take a couple minutes and introduce yourself and your role at NV Energy?
Sure, thanks. Yeah, Adam Grant. I manage all of the delivery of the energy efficiency, conservation, demand response, demand side management programs for NV Energy. So all of the programs that we deliver run through my department. We have a very healthy portfolio suite of programs that we have for customers, from all the way from lighting to demand response to thermostats to air conditioners, you name it. And then on the commercial side, we have large commercial industrial all the way down to the mom and pop. So very good suite of programs for customers.
What can you tell us about NV Energy, the utility?
So NV Energy, we are a subsidiary of Berkshire Hathaway Energy. They purchased us back in 2013. We obviously cover the state of Nevada. About 90+% of Nevada is NV Energy territory, about 46,000 square miles of territory. And we have two distinct locations, which one being Nevada Power Company, which is our southern territory, which is basically Las Vegas, Clark County. Smaller, much more condensed piece of area with a much higher load. And then we have our northern territory, which consists of a lot of the rural areas up in northern Nevada, but it also includes the Reno Sparks area. But that's about 40,000 of the 46,000 square miles, but a much smaller load. We have about 1.4 million customers. We've been in business here for about 150 years, providing services to the state of Nevada. And we have about 2,500 employees that we employ here in the state.
Perfect. So obviously, NV Energy is known for their embrace of the customer and doing some customer-centric approach to energy management. Can you walk us through some of those best practices and how that works?
So one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is two things: is the reliability that we provide our customers. We're at like 99.9% reliability. We're one of the best, if not the best in the country, at not having the lights go off or making sure they flip on when the customers hit the switch. But we also provide safe and affordable energy, and trying to deliver all the products and services, anything we do for customers based on what the customers want. We deliver these products and services with the latest technologies. We want to help them save energy, help them increase their efficiency, save money, reduce their bills. But we are all committed, and we're very committed to environmental, making sure that we're sustainable. We do things the best way for the environment. Nevada is one of the leading states on the West Coast, especially for sustainability, for our conservation efforts. We've had programs that we've got one of the longest and the largest running load reduction demand response programs in the country. We pride ourselves on that, and we are continuing to listen to our customers. We provide these opportunities for customers to have this ongoing two-way communication and really glean a greater understanding of what our customers want and need, and try to provide them with products and services based on not what we tell them they want, but we try to listen. I think that's really important, is make sure that we understand what the customer wants, how they want it delivered to them, and then try to deliver it that way to them. And it's been, while challenging, because all in 2.4 million customers, they all want something different potentially, but we try to take it and really give them an opportunity to share their ideas and give back, and then we can design our products and services around what these customers and what our customers need and want, and because of what they tell us.
Absolutely. Obviously, we've done a lot of work throughout the years. One of the things that we try and focus in on is your ability to provide that single source of truth for your customers. Can you kind of walk us through kind of what that is and why it is so important?
Before we have had this great relationship with Bidgely and with the tools and the AI services you guys provide to us and to our customers, we didn't have one single source of the truth. We had a amount of kWh in one place that the customer might look, and amount of their bill in another place the customer might look. So what we have really tried to do is, again, as I said, single source of the truth, is everywhere a customer looks and every touch point they have with us digitally, they see the same data. And it's make sure that's really important, that everything's up to date, that all the information is there for them at their fingertips, and it's all the same no matter where they look. If it's through their mobile device, if it's on the web, if it's through my account, it's all the same, and that's what we didn't really have before. So we've really tried to pull this together to make sure that customers have the opportunity to get what they need, where they need it, and that it's all the same.
I know, obviously, NV Energy was a pioneer when it came to getting AMI smart meter data. Maybe you can kind of walk us through that journey of kind of when you began to get it, how you've been able to use it to inform your programs, your operations, and then any key lessons you may have learned from getting that two-way communication with the customer through that AMI network.
We were one of the first utilities to have almost all, I think we have 96% of our customer base on smart meters. So we were one of the first utilities to have our basically entire customer base on smart meters. So we've really been out in front of that and trying to learn what's the best way the customer wants to get their information, and then try to take all that data that we are then have from the smart meters to build these products and services to increase the success customers can have to save energy, save money, reduce their bills. We were one of the, again, the first utilities to employ these smart meters. But what it gives us is this opportunity to have this two-way communication with customers, what they're using, how they're using it, but also then we can understand how to deliver things to them. Maybe it's ways to communicate with them. Maybe it's ways to different products and services that they are looking to for ways to save energy, and we can provide to them. But it just gives us a great opportunity to optimize and personalize the services for them based on listening and the two-way communication that we have with customers.
You know, I know there's a lot of different use cases that can be drawn out of the AMI information. One of the ones that I know that you and your team have been focusing in on is a lot of the HVAC usage. Can you kind of walk us through some of the things that you've learned in that area?
We use AI and data algorithms in a lot of different ways. As you said, one being HVAC being really important. We can understand based on a customer system if they have long run times to determine if their system have any issues. We can see if there may potentially short cycling to understand if their compressor is going bad or if it needs adjustment, or maybe they have time to get a tech out there to take a look at it. We can look at the fan run and how long that is, if it's overrunning, if it's underrunning. We can look at the potential for the sensors on thermostats to understand if they're working, if they're delivering the right amount of temperature from wherever they're placed in the customer's homes. And then we can understand if a device is offline, if they're not participating in our events, or if it's costing these customers excess dollars that they don't need to be spending because maybe something isn't working as well for them. And we then have the opportunity, based on through our smart meters, through the technology with the AI system that Bidgely provides us, to understand and then to reach out to them.
Yeah, very interesting, Adam. So obviously, NV Energy has some very large commercial customers as well. Can you kind of walk through some of the different ways that analytics are benefiting them as well?
We now have a smart thermostat program that we do offer to a lot of our commercial customers. We then have the data that's filtered into our big data, and then we are able to analyze it. So we can look at what percentage maybe potentially don't participate in the event, or they override, or they opt out. We can look at the commercial customers and the summary of their building, and then provide this this bottom up instead of kind of top down approach to what the building is taking from each different opportunity within the building. We can determine if they have the optimal schedules on their settings for their thermostats, even potentially the motors and the variable speed drives they may have on some equipment in their properties. So we are able to look at this and leverage the data to kind of give them a better way to optimize their business. That's one of the things we really try to do, is work with them on not only, okay, you can turn this light off or get a better system, but if you're going to have this better system, you also want to have it working optimally. So we have a program that puts demand limiting controls on the outside HVAC units and on the rooftop units for these large warehouses. But if you're, for instance, you're in a large open warehouse where you have because they do have a lot of them here in Nevada, a lot of big companies do a lot of their shipping and merchandising out. So we have these rooftop unit demand limitings that will talk to each other, and they'll allow the rooftop units to, okay, if we only need 50% of the 3 units that are running, we'll minimize these units to make sure that that's all that it takes to keep at the set point the customer have, as opposed to these 3 units running at 100% and then giving this basically the same amount of cool, or if you will, or whatever the customer needs at 50 to 60% savings because it's optimized.
Obviously, in your role, you have a responsibility for the DSM programs as well.
Yes.
Maybe you can just walk us through some of the different ways that artificial intelligence is working its way into assisting those programs.
It's doing a lot. We're trying to put the AI into a lot of our programs. We're piloting some things where we're tracking some AI use for asset management to see if what we need in the field. We are looking at what the best candidates for cost-effective upgrades might be based on the assets and the customer has. We look at kind of how this data is used on the meter side to make sure the customers have the right technology enabled at the time, and then we also can to use this technology to understand if we need to call a DR event to make sure that we are triggering the right set points for customers. We also can look at price-based DR. We can look at a lot of things that we can, one of the things that's really important, so we do have our thermostat program where we are going and installing thermostats in all of our customers' homes who want it. So one of the things that is challenging, because as I said, we're 46,000 square miles of territory. So if a customer out in Winnemucca or Elko wants a thermostat, great, we're going to provide it. But if we have to send one driver out there to do an install and he's on the road for 3 hours there and 3 hours back, that's not a benefit to the customer and to us. So what we'll do is some of these AI things for scheduling optimization and route maintenance to make sure that these guys, okay, maybe we have 3 of them out there, so the technology will schedule them all on the same day, and they'll know that we're going to have one tech out in that area. He'll do all 3, and so you get a lot more bang for your buck because the guy's doing one route for multiple installations, which again is something new that we're really trying to build upon.
And obviously, that's great to cover the DSM programs. Let's talk a little bit about grid anomalies. Can you give us some of the ways that NV Energy is using artificial intelligence in that area?
We work with the Western resources, with all the different Western states, to make sure that our balancing authority, so we have the right amount of energy use for whoever needs it. So that is all run through AI now, to make sure that a lot of what we're doing is to make sure that the grid is reliable, to make sure that, as I think we mentioned earlier, as we had in August, that's one thing that told us we weren't going to be able to potentially cover the load that we were having in those 2 days in August. The technology told us that. We knew what we had, but we also had forecasting, and it was all done through automated intelligence to tell us, okay, you guys need help, and we need to figure this out. And so the reliability of the grid, when to trigger DR events, and how we can use our resources to better serve the customers.
That's great. And then also kind of specifically, I think you touched upon it a little bit earlier, but we can dive a little deeper into the price-based DR events.
One of the things that we do have the opportunity to do is call DR events based on the flexibility and needs in terms of time, duration, the dispatch assets. If we know a certain area in the territory is going to be short or is going to need some help, we can call DR and we can kind of target it based on a substation, based on a group of substations that may need some assistance. So we can use that area and target DR specifically to those communities that potentially could use it. But so that's a great way, and we've just started doing that kind of this year, last year, and we're really kind of moving forward as targeted DR to understand this distributed energy resources and this DERMS kind of overall encompassing portfolio that we're putting together that will allow us to have a better understanding of the needs of the customers and the needs of the reliability of the grid based on area and location.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. One of the things I know that you focus a lot in on is the fully integrated solution. Obviously, Bidgely and NV Energy have been doing work together for many years. Can you kind of walk us through that Bidgely journey of kind of how things started and kind of how they continue to get more and more integrated, with hopefully more integration to come in the future?
We were looking for a great tool to do a online survey for our customers to really get the understanding of how they are using their energy, what they're using it on. So it started with the Bidgely Disag tool to understand, but how, again, customers could log in and they could kind of take a short survey and get an understanding of what their energy is at. That grew into not only the Disag tool, but then working with them for tips and for, based on the Disag, based on our data that we understand, then providing them with recommendations and services to what they can do to save. We then moved into the home energy assessment piece of it, where we would allow, the Bidgely tool was taken as the technician went to a customer's home. So as they're going through the home and doing the assessment, it would bring up almost in real time how this would affect the customer and that would affect the customer, what services that they could use, and then provide them with the data from the home energy assessment, which would then go right back into their My Account. So it would be a part of their journey when they're talking to us digitally, and they can look at all the data, they can look at the assessment and all the tools that the customer has at their disposal to save energy. We then moved on to the home energy reports. I think this was in year 2.5-ish.
They all kind of blend together, my friend.
Right, exactly, but it's all good. It's a great partnership, and we're really happy with it. So Bidgely helps us using a lot of the tools and the data from big data and from the Bidgely tools to put together the home energy reports for customers. Customers can use the data from the home energy reports to look at how they compare to other homes their size. It gives them tips, it gives them opportunities and ways to save, and then drives them towards our programs. The other thing we do is we have a tool for our call center agents, which have the ability to view the same data that the customers see and support them as they're on the phone, with the phone resolution, if they call in and they have questions about their bill, if they have questions about their usage, if they have questions about whatever energy questions they may have, they'll have that tool, which is provided as part of the Bidgely tool to our call center, and can provide these customers with the opportunity to quickly resolve their problems, and then hopefully go on and have the great rest of their day. The next piece of it is we've done this a couple times, and we looked at some participation tools and targeting. We did it with HVAC, and then we did it with pool pumps. So I know we started with HVAC a couple years ago, and then we then moved towards pool pumps, and it really is an opportunity to identify customers who are most likely to want to participate in these programs, get this new equipment, and then also have the opportunity to give them these in-home audits and or incentives and rebates on other products and services that we could offer them. We also have the tool allows us with some optimization, as we talked about, analytics to inform our planning, to drive maybe a TOU rated option, shift loads. It's become very all-encompassing for a lot of the things that we're doing. We're becoming very data driven, as is everybody, but we're really trying to use it what's the best service for the customer. And again, as I said before, we're trying to listen to the customer and then provide them with all the data that they may need to make an informed decision and tell us what they want and how they want us to serve them.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for that overview and bringing that all together. You know, obviously, by bringing this all together, there's been hopefully some customer responses. Can you kind of summarize the different ways that the customers have responded to this these set of new services?
Well, we've had some really great response. I mean, customers have told us, one, they love the tool because it's simple, it's easy, it gives them information quickly and in a way that they can understand. It's also fun. It's not everyone here, I'm sure people have seen it, but it's not a word, it's pictures, it's really visual. So the customer can get it, and it's easy and quick. So it provides them great information. But what it also allows us to do is know what the customer is interested in and what they're using their energy on, which allows us to say, okay, maybe you need this. So targeted marketing, streamline efforts to maximize the savings from a customer and allow them to really hone in on what they need and where they're using their energy and where we can help them save.
Adam, I know that the partner approach is very important to you and the rest of the team at NV Energy. Can you kind of walk us through the approach and kind of some of the benefits you're seeing from it?
We want to really be partners with our customers. We want them to really understand that we're not just the utility who's giving them their energy, their electricity, or their natural gas. We want to be their partner. We want to be their expert advisor. We want to be the ones that they know they can count on to be comfortable in their homes and grow their businesses, helping them save energy. We want them to reach out to us and really feel comfortable that we are going to be the experts that they want us to be and the partners they want us to be. We want to build trust and earn confidence with our customers. And we try to do that on a daily basis. But the technology is really the way that we have been able to take the greatest next steps, because the data allows us to understand our customers better, with hopefully then being there to provide them the services and the expert analysis that they need, and will make them really try and on with us as more than just the ones that keeps the lights on.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Adam, for the time today.
Anytime, every year.
Hello again, everybody. Rainier, hey, Adam, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. So Colin Gibbs again, in the event that anybody has joined since our last session. And Adam, I won't keep you for too long, since the entire format of that one was Q&A. So we'll just keep throwing questions at you. First and foremost, just hope you and the rest of the NV Energy team and your customers are staying safe in a pretty lengthy wildfire season here. It's pretty miserable in the Pacific Northwest right now, and I'm sure your Reno customers in that area are dealing with a little bit of the air quality. So I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, we've gotten it both here in Vegas. We've gotten the air quality issues from the Southern California fires, and then in Reno, I have not been up there, but talked to some of our folks earlier today, and said it's been not even go outside. It's really, really bad. So it's been very challenging.
Yeah, like I said, here as well. So
yeah.
I hope
I imagine there it's worse.
Yeah, very uncomfortable at the moment.
Yeah.
So a couple questions for you. Got one from Matt Halloran up at Avista. So he was inquiring about hearing a little bit about NV Energy's experience with your call center solution, any kind of feedback that you've gotten specifically from call center reps and their expectations. We tend to think about the customer experience, which is obviously important, but the experience of a call center representative and how that sort of fits into your solution set.
Yeah. So what we've heard from call center reps is that it makes life much easier for them. They obviously deal with more customers than any of us do on a daily basis. The idea that they know that they are looking at the same data that the customer is seeing is really a positive, because they know that the customer and them are seeing the same thing. They can then try to do their assistance based on the same amount, as we said, the single source of the truth. So the customer's not seeing something different that the call center is seeing and trying to solve a different problem. They're at least on the same page when they're trying to solve whatever problem the customer may have.
Yeah, great.
And it's easy. Brings it right up. It's got all the data right in front of them. They see what the customer sees. What it does is, from a business standpoint, it helps to speed up the customer resolution, allows the call center rep to move on to the next call, hit our metrics in terms of call center metrics, and help more customers during the day.
Great. I would say, just from conversations that we've had with other utility companies and various regulators around the country, it seems as though oftentimes utilities, after they made sort of their AMI investments or are planning to make those AMI investments, there's still the challenge of proving value to customers very quickly. NV Energy, I would say, has done a really good job of that in connecting those AMI investments to the actual customer experience and to customer benefit. And certainly we're proud to be a part of that dynamic for you. I'm just curious, though, to learn a little bit more about your team and sort of the process that you go through internally, to convince the powers that be at NV Energy to make the type of investments and focus on the programs that you mentioned.
So for what we do is everything is customer based. So we look at what can drive a customer satisfaction improvement piece. So if what we're going to do and what the service we're going to provide allows the customer to have an easier time doing business with us, to trust us and provide us as their energy expert or advisor, makes it easier for them to interact with us, pay their bill, see their data, whatever it takes. That's kind of the driving force of where we start. Obviously, then we look at all the pieces. We have a process we have to go through from a business standpoint to make sure that we're getting the best deals out there. The same thing that most businesses have, but it's all driven by the customer. It's all driven by what's the easiest way for the customer to get the successful solution that they want, and how can we provide it for them.
Great. So fair to say that, for companies like us, if we aim to work with you on other solutions, if we can demonstrate that customer value, then it's always of interest to NV Energy.
Absolutely. Yep.
Great. I have just a question about the customer experience, if you will, around AMI deployment. So the customer gets a new meter. Maybe just kind of walk us through what that experience looks like for customers.
Well, it's been a while since we did it. I think we started back in 2016 and 15 of installing. As I said in the presentation, we've done about 96% of our customer base. It was challenging at first, as at the time we were going through our smart meter deployment. There were some news stories about other utilities who were having issues with the customer reaction. So there was a lot of communication, a lot of customer-driven communication, a lot of interactive feedback. But we did have the opportunity to take what customers were telling us and then show them the benefits. So we really did feel, as I think has been proven now, that the benefits of the smart meter and the deployment for the customer really did outweigh any concern they may have, the big brother type concern, if you will. But we've had pretty positive feedback now that we've been in the smart meter business for such a long time, and such a high number of our customers have the smart meters. But the experience for the customer was pretty seamless. We just went, we told them we were going to install it, we installed it, and then it was done. There weren't really an appointment. We just told them we were going to do it. They did have the opportunity to opt out. Like I said, about 4% have in our entire population, and it was pretty seamless. And the benefits now are very much outweigh any of the concerns that customers may have had.
Great. So obligatory 2020 COVID question, right? No choice at this point.
Right.
But obviously your sort of supervision of the energy efficiency programs. I'm just curious if you're projecting forward here. How do you anticipate this experience in 2020 might alter programs moving forward for customers?
So specifically here in Nevada, we have been, if not the hardest hit economic city, Las Vegas especially, but state in the United States from COVID, because we are so much of a 24/7 tourist-based community. And when the tourists aren't coming, our economy takes the longest time to recover. So we are designing and improving our programs to make sure we take that into account for all of our customers. We've had significant drop in customer participation at the beginning of the pandemic. It has started to pick back up. We are getting back in the swing of things, but we've had issues where customers have financial hardship. There is a lot. Nevada's been really hard hit, and the financial hardship has affected our programs. But we're trying to do things more virtually. We're trying to do things remotely and without customer contact. But it's starting to pick back up. We are back in homes doing customer assessments. We are back in homes delivering and installing thermostats, and so it's picking back up. But there's going to be a very long recovery period here in Nevada because the economy was hit so hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I have one more question here for you. This is from Rusty. I'm just curious about your customers, NV Energy customers, and their interest in digital solutions. And do you see more and more customers, interested in or opting in, if you will, to digital communication strategies as opposed to more traditional, phone or paper ones?
Yes, well, the home energy reports, we have gone away from being predominantly a paper report to now a predominantly digital report. We still have the laggers who don't embrace the digital, and because Las Vegas at times can be more of a place where some of the older, do have a lot of older community that are not as embracive of the digital solution, but we also are again Las Vegas, so technology is very important. So I would say most, if not a lot of our customer base has really embraced the solution, embraced the digital communication, and we continue to see that. We continue to see the opportunities that we can then provide to customers to allow them to understand their bill, their usage, and do it on their time and in their way, as opposed to having to wait for something in the mail or a phone call. They can just jump on an app or jump on the computer and figure out the solution themselves.
Great. Well, thanks again, Adam. Appreciate it this year and last, and hopefully we'll see you again next year.
Anytime. You got it.
All right.
Thanks, Hans. Yep.